All right, welcome everyone. We're excited everyone is here. Thank you for joining us this Thursday. My name is Ryan Blackshear Vargas. I am the media consultant for Back from the Brink. And on behalf of the campaign, we are so excited, as I said, that everyone has joined us. We got a lot of excitement leading up to this, so we're happy that it's here, and we hope that this training is helpful. We want to make sure that everyone is comfortable engaging on social media. We want to make sure that you find and create community in these online spaces, to have a presence on social media, and to help spread the critical need for collective efforts to rid the world of nuclear weapons. So again, thank you for joining us. During this hour, you will learn how to post content and interact on Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. So we chose these three as they are platforms that Back from the Brink engages with the most. And we want more of our activists and supporters to engage with us there too. We are sharing content there that you will find easy to share with your family and friends and your networks and local officials and congressmen and women. We understand some people here are new to social media. Some are reluctant to use social media. Some people think social media is a replacement for in-person interaction. Well, that is definitely not true, nor is it the purpose of this training. Instead, it's to get folks more comfortable with using the tool to serve the larger purpose of bringing folks together in community and getting rid, of course, of nuclear weapons. So we're going to do this by, hopefully you can get your phone out because we're going to walk through. This is a very interactive training. So we're going to walk through it. You all will see me using my phone. We're going to go through the phone and show how to do this on each platform. As I said, Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky. We want you to get your phone out and try it. You can also follow along on the desktop if that's what you have available to you. Either one works, but we want you to be comfortable asking questions. So please use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen. You'll see the Q&A button down there. You can click that, and that's where you can write some questions during this webinar. If I'm going through something and you want some clarity, or you have a question, chances are someone else on this webinar has a question too. So please put that question in that Q&A chat. And then there are wonderful admins on our campaign team who are helping out with this training today. Thank you, Maya and Jeremy. Who will collect those questions and address them at different times throughout the webinar. And I want to be sure everyone knows there are no stupid questions. Please don't be intimidated. Please feel free to try, because we want people to feel as comfortable as possible using social media. Before I continue, I want to stop here and introduce my colleague, Eric Fernandez. He's the Director of Outreach and Organizing, and he is going to share with us the importance of engaging on social media.
Thank you very much, Ryan. I appreciate it. So yeah, I like as the fairly new director of outreach and organizing, I joined back in March. Um, it's important to kind of combine the both the digital aspect as well as the in-person aspect that Ryan kind of laid out. So you are in very good hands as she navigates you through these three platforms. We're already kind of seeing questions as to if you don't want to join one of these platforms or not interested in one of these platforms, we are not in the business of like coercing or kind of convincing people. You should only be on the platforms that you feel most comfortable with. We want to give you the options and give you the information on these three platforms if you are interested. So I just wanted to preface that. Like Ryan mentioned, there are multiple reasons why social media can be a powerful organizing tool and why we decided to have the social media training. First off, it's building community. There are countless Back from the Brink advocates and others in the nuclear disarmament movement across the country, and many times it's difficult for us to collectively get together in person. So building out these social media communities allows us to really uplift each other's work, to raise awareness about local initiatives, federal initiatives, or even local events that may be happening. Second, it's to build pressure on elected officials. Believe it or not, your local and your federal officials, or at the very least, their comm staff are checking their mentions. They're checking their mentions on multiple social media platforms. If there are 10, 20, 30 posts, all linking back to an action page requesting that they co-sponsor HRES 317 as an example, or if they are an elected local official to pass a resolution, more likely than not, they will see it, especially if there is an uptick in mentions, specifically mentioning this issue. Um, this will get their attention. So whenever you follow up that initial social media action with a call or visit in person to their office, they will have seen this issue before, and this is kind of a these social media like digital based actions are a nice stepping stone and lowers the barrier of entry for the general public, especially for people who are not involved in the movement or haven't been involved for a long time. So, so yeah, that's no, that like that's number two as to why it could be an effective um, outreach and organizing tool. Number three, it can help build awareness and inform the general public. So as we seek to grow the nuclear disarmament movement across generations, we need to meet people where they are to discuss the dangers of nuclear weapons. That includes social media. To create digestible pieces of content that lets people know about the threats that they pose to humanity and to a habitable planet for the next generations, while also inspiring people to stay in the fight and fight for a safer world free from nuclear weapons. So those are just three of the reasons why we want to give people the tools and for allow to let them know that these tools are available from an outreach and organizing perspective. And yeah, so without further ado, I'm gonna pass it back to Ryan, and she's gonna, she will be your air traffic controller as she guides you through this training. So thank you for joining, and we're excited to move forward.
Thank you, Eric. So I wanted to, you all, when you joined, again, thank you everyone for being here. First, I should also remind everyone that this is being recorded, which is great because if you have a friend or a colleague or someone you know who was not able to join, this will be posted and they can access it once this session is posted on our YouTube page. So this will be recorded. But we had a poll at the beginning of this. It asked folks, how comfortable are you using social media? 20% of you are very comfortable, which is exciting. Somewhat comfortable, about 50%. Okay, so majority of folks here kind of feel okay. They've navigated some of the waters, but they could use some refreshers or maybe some tips and tools. And 30% of you are not at all comfortable. So everyone here is at different levels. That's wonderful. Hopefully you get something out of this, and we hope that we can serve you with some tools and some advice and some help as we go through each of these platforms. And as I said, there is the Q&A function available. So if you have questions, please put them there. I want to be clear as we go over now to the more interactive part of this webinar, that this is to help people get online and get comfortable online in these platforms. Again, on Instagram, Facebook, and Blue Sky, where Back from the Brink interacts the most. Those are the three platforms that we are on currently. So those are the ones that we're going to use now because those are where Back from the Brink is most active. Okay. So to do that, first, let me scoot over here to the phone because, as I said, it's going to be very interactive. So I want to share my screen. And first, we are going to become familiar with Instagram. Let me just join here. This, and you guys will see in a second me sharing my screen. Where you can hear that. Let me turn this down. Okay. I'm going to share here. And as I said, the first platform we're going to go through is Instagram. We can't fit everything in because, of course, we only have an hour, and I want to be mindful of everyone's time. But we will go through as much as we can on each of the platforms.
Hi, Ryan. I just have a quick tech note.
Yes, Mike. Can you hear the echo?
I can hear a little echo, so I'm wondering if you can lower the volume all the way on your phone. Maybe that'll help.
Okay. How about that?
I think there's still a bit of an echo. I'm wondering, I saw the volume actually go up. I wonder if you want to.
Really not the one that the Bible intended us to use.
Is that better?
I think that is better for the echo. Yes, now I can hear your phone audio. So
Wonderful. Thank you. Okay.
yeah.
So we'll start with Instagram. Okay, and I'm doing this on the phone because a lot of times it's easier to share pictures and video and the content that is needed for these different platforms from your phone because, presumably you've taken the pictures, you've taken videos on your phone, and you want to share them there. So that's why I am showing Instagram and the other two platforms in a second here on my phone. Okay. Instagram is a visual medium. It was designed for pictures and videos. So you must be mindful of this when posting content. You can't simply have a link to something. You can't only write something. You will need a photo or a video when you are interacting with this platform. So when you log on, if you'll see here, you'll see this is your feed. You'll see a lot of content. You'll see this is a sponsored ad. If you see here, it says Democracy Forward. So there's stuff from, there are ads. You'll see content from folks that you may be following. So this is a combination of all of the posts and content that is shared by either folks that you follow or ads. Okay. So to create a post on Instagram, and this is again, I'm here on Back from the Brink's Instagram page. You would go down to the plus sign. And let's say I wanted to add a picture, a graphic of the Meet a Member Monday series, which I'll plug that here to say if any supporters would like to be featured in our Meet a Member Monday series when we introduce supporters to a larger audience, please feel free. You can email us later. Anyways, so if you would like to do that, so I usually post these every Monday. So I push that graphic, okay, and then that's considered a picture, and I'll push next here in the corner. Now, this is where you can add different things. You can add music. You'll see all these icons here. You can add text on top of the picture. You can create different things. But for now, we're going to keep it very simple and just add this graphic. Then I would click next where it says add a caption. This is where you would add the caption. I would say Meet a Member Monday. Okay. And you press OK, whatever text you want to place here. Push OK. Now, let's say you wanted to tag someone, you want to tag Back from the Brink. Tagging means you want to make sure that that person who is included in the picture or other people see that picture. So if you want to tag someone, you can go here where it says tag people, click on the picture, and let's say you want to tag Back from the Brink. I'm going to type it in here. Here we go. And now under tags, it says Back from the Brink is tagged. Okay. And done. And then if you do that, you can add location if you want. If you want to put like this person is in Watertown, Massachusetts, you could put the location if you want. And then you would share the picture. Now, before we do that, I'm not going to share, but that of course you would be done here and I would push the picture. I want to share that Instagram, the interesting thing about Instagram is that in this text box here, you can add a link to something. Let's say there was a link to a resolution that you wanted to add, either www. Whatever here. You could add it here. Instagram in the caption, those links are not clickable. So you could write it here, but when the person is looking at your profile, they would not be able to see it. They wouldn't be able to click it. I'm sorry. So you would have to say, I'm sorry, let me just say, okay, I'm going to actually go back because I'm not going to actually post this. I'm going to discard that post. But just to give you an idea, you would go here. Let me show you something here. You would have to go to back from your profile page where it has links. And this is where a person can, let's say, join a hub, for example, or, find the website, something there. So if you want to say, join us for Meet a Member Monday, you could say, click the link in the bio, and then you would have to go to edit profile, go to links, and add an external link. Put the URL there, put the title of it, if you want to call it Meet a Member Monday, whatever it is. And that way that person is able to, or your audience is able to read and click the link. So I hope that is helpful. Now, again, if you want to create content, you want to post things, you want to share all of the things you're working on in your hubs or what you're doing in your community, please do post. That's a great way to engage on social media and for people to see how passionate you are about ridding the world of nuclear weapons. If you want to do something a little bit less, you want to be more active, but you're not ready to post or do videos, something else you could do is start commenting on pictures. This is really helpful, for example, for Back from the Brink, because the more comments and likes that we get on pictures, the more engagement that that post gets. And the more popular it is, that means more eyes, of course, will be on it. So if you want to do that, you would click the comment bubble here, and you would, where it says add a comment, and you could write your comment. This is text only. You don't need to have a link. You don't need to have a picture. You could do that if you want, but you would be able to add whatever comment here. Now, let's say you want to engage with a local leader. This is also a great way to, in addition to if you want to write your own post, you could also write a comment and say, you know, please look at this. And you could add, let's say, a representative, Rep. Mark, for example, from Mark Pokin from Wisconsin. So now that person is tagged there. So they know that this is a post that is important to you, and their office will be able to see it. And that's something that Eric mentioned earlier. So commenting, again, is another way of increasing engagement, for you to be engaged, increasing engagement on Back from the Brink's page, and for you to be able to see what's going on in this space. If you want to simply like a picture, that only requires, or like a post, you simply have to push the heart button and it's liked. And again, very simply, the more likes, the more comments, the more popular it is, the more it's seen by more people. And of course, that helps amplify the message of Back from the Brink. And then if you don't want to hear posts like that, you just turn off there. Okay. Let me make sure that I've covered everything for Instagram. So one thing, hashtags. So if you want to, I'm going to go back here. Let's say that we are, actually, I'll go here to show you all. And I will plug our 80 days of action. So if you haven't heard yet, we are approaching the 80th anniversary of the Nagasaki and Hiroshima bombings. And so Back from the Brink has kicked off 80 days of action. We're encouraging folks to send in pictures and videos and texts of what is happening in your community and to participate in a number of ways. We hope that you will be able to do that by posting on social media. One of the ways you can do that, there's many ways, but one of the ways you can do that is by posting on social media and using the hashtag 80 days of action. You'll see that hashtag here. So if you want to write a post, again, in that text area, you would write hashtag, meaning that number sign, and then 80 days of action. What that does is allow people to, when you click that, any post that has that hashtag in it will be visible. We'll be able to see, we'll be able to track that post. So if you, and you can do that with anything. You'll see some posts here. We're also, encouraging congressmen and women to co-sponsor HRES 317. If I click that hashtag, these are all the posts currently on Instagram that have used that hashtag. So we can see all of the things that are all of the information, all the posts from all over that are using HRES 317. So hashtags are a great way for folks to see how many people are aware of this issue and want to talk about this issue. So make sure if you do that and you're participating in 80 days of action to please use that hashtag so that we can track that and see that engagement there. Okay. I believe I have to check my time here because I make sure that I am being mindful. I believe I have covered everything. Oh, so here's something else. How to search for groups on Instagram. So let's say you're just getting started. You want to know how to find other groups to follow. So one way, and following me, and so I'll show you here, for example, Back from the Brink has 1,777 followers. Those are people who are interested in the content that Back from the Brink is posting. But we are following 726 accounts on Instagram. So if you click that, you can see what groups other people are following. So that's a good way of getting idea for other and finding other organizations. If you want to find Nuclear Prayer Voices, for example, Voices for a World Free of Nuclear Weapons, you can follow them. And then you would click, of course, the following sign. You could find Greater Boston PSR. You can find Pax Christi. You could find individuals. This is our director of policy here, or faith or outreach to faith and organization groups, Danny Hall. There he is. Shout out to Danny. So that's a great way of finding other folks to follow. And then of course, as I mentioned, when you go back to your feed, which is where you start, you'll be able to now see all of their posts and engage with their content. So you can comment there or like there and be engaged in that way. Another thing you can do is, again, once you go to, let's say you are on Back from the Brink's page, profile page, you like this post, you want to send it to one person, you can click this icon here, which is the arrow. And you can do a couple things with that. You can send it directly to one organization or one person that you're following. That would be a direct message. Or you can add it to your story, which says here, add a story. So what is a story? Discard. A story is this section here. Let me show you. So you'll also see colorful circles around these accounts. This means that these accounts have shared information that will be removed in 24 hours. So it's kind of like behind the scenes content. So let's see. If we click here, there are a couple of posts here that will be around for just 24 hours. And that's kind of a behind the scenes or another way of sharing content. You can't see, well, you'll be able to see these again for only 24 hours. You can click through and see the different things that people have shared, the different accounts that people have shared there. Okay, so those are stories. There are also reels on Instagram, which I'll push here. These are all videos that have to be 3 minutes or less. It's another way that you can post content or look at content and of course comment on them as well. But those are just some of the different aspects of Instagram. I'm going to stop there and see if there's any questions. I'm going to ask Eric if there's any questions that have been sent in since I've been talking.
Yeah. So there are a few questions, regarding the speed. But like,
Oh, I'm sorry.
totally understand.
Okay.
What we're hoping that the recording can provide, just because I know we're trying to squeeze in all these platforms, is that you can then reference the video kind of as you're checking out your phone, and hopefully you can kind of cross-reference as she's walking through it. So we're hoping that when we send the recording after the fact, that like it can help clarify things a little bit. So I just want to be mindful totally here about, especially as you're navigating a new platform. But again, hopefully that recording can help out. With some of the questions that we're getting, from Josh Baker, do you have advice on strategy for effective use of video, stories versus grid on Instagram, horizontal versus vertical, ideal amount of time, etc.?
Okay, yes, those are a lot of questions. So yes, so I would say the more pictures and videos, like I said, Instagram was designed for pictures and videos first. So yes, make sure you have something that is definitely compelling. You can also do a mix of pictures and videos. So if you want to, for example, and I'll go back to show, to go a little bit slower. So again, if I want to create a post, and if you look at the bottom, you'll see the plus sign in a square. Click that. Okay, you'll see the option at the bottom again to either to post something or add something to a story. And to do that, I scrolled to the left. Again, if I scroll, I can also do a reel, or I can scroll and broadcast live, which I'm not going to do, although I'm broadcasting live to all of you right now. Okay, So let's say we want to simply do a post. You can click one picture. Let's say I want to add that picture. But if you have multiple pictures, including videos, you would go here. Do you guys see that? See, I turned that off, but now I turn it back on. That circle in the corner. And now you'll see a number 1. That is asking how many pictures I would like to add in the order in which I would like to add them. So now I'm saying I want to add number 1, I want to add that number 2, number 3, and I can also add a video, but I'm just going to add these, let's say. Then I will click next in the corner. Okay, and then you'll see, so this post would have multiple pictures. So that's how I would do that. So I answer that to say, yes, pictures or videos, I would add both. Reels certainly, discard that post. Reels certainly require video. I would film, particularly if you know you are doing something for social media, make sure you're holding your phone this way. Okay, so the pictures are vertical as much as possible because Instagram, well, the aspect ratio has been changed, but basically it's more of a square. It's a rectangular, it's a rectangle, but it's shorter than this is hard to describe, but it's a rectangle, but it's a little bit shorter than a traditional rectangle, if that makes sense. So you would need to squeeze everyone in a picture, and a lot of times you'd say you want to take a group picture, so you'd rather take your picture horizontally. You're going to cut some people off. So as much as you can, try to get folks and take pictures this way so that when you are posting it on social media, no one is cut off. I hope that I explained that well.
We're gonna go with one more question for now, and then we'll leave this, the remaining questions for the towards the end of the session.
Great.
I'm gonna go. Give me 1 second. We actually have another message from a question from Josh Baker. When posting from an org account, do you have recommendations for frequency in terms of balancing being active enough to follow versus being annoying by posting too much? So essentially just like the posting frequency. Do you have any recommendations?
And I'm sorry, what was the beginning part of that question?
When posting from an organizational account. Like essentially like when you're posting from an organizational account, do you what is the frequency do you recommend posting on Instagram?
I would say post whatever is most important for your organization, what is timely, what you want to share. I always like to consider myself, back from the Brink's cheerleader. All this wonderful stuff is happening across, from all of the hubs, and I want to be able to share that as much as I can. So when we get that information, if it's something that needs to be shared right now, we share it. We share it right away. If there's something that is being shared that's coming up in a week or two, then I'll share so that people are aware of it and can plan for it. Maybe an event that's coming up that we need to get information out now. That being said, don't just post for the sake of posting. It has to be something that's meaningful, something that resonates with the audience, something that is organic to your organization. And that is also organic for that platform. So again, we'll go through the other ones, but if you have a picture or video that goes with it that really helps amplify and tell that story, then post it. Not everything needs to be posted just for the sake of being posted. But if it really helps tell the story and tell the story of your organization, then by all means, you definitely should be as active as possible, but as active as is organic. So don't kind of create things or just post things for the sake of posting. They don't really have any purpose. Post things that help amplify your brand as much as you can. Okay, so I think we should move on now to Facebook. And hopefully this will be a little bit easier because again, I've already explained the feed, but some of this will be the same. So again, Facebook has a feed. So when you get on, everything you follow, some things are, again, you'll see reels here. They kind of act the same way. you'll see ads, you'll see different posts and videos from folks that you are following. Again, this could be your family, your friends, a lot of the information that they are posting and interested in, you'll see that in their feed. Okay, so I just want to get everyone familiar to what they will see when they log on. Okay, now if you want to post something here on Facebook, I should say first that Facebook is also a multimedia platform. It was designed to share pictures and videos, but you can also share longer text. It's great for maybe sharing a longer story, longer form text. You can also share website links here. This does allow you to create a link, share a link, and it will be clickable. So this is a great way to do that if you decide that Facebook is a platform that you would like to use. So to create a post here, you'll see where it says what's on your mind. It says at the top of the screen. You would click that and you would simply, again, write text, whatever you'd like to write here. Let's say meet a member Monday. Okay. And then you would write your text here. Again, you can add a website link if you want. Let's see, we're going to add back from the Brink's website, preventnuclearwar.org. Okay, and then you'll see actually that the website will pop up there if you'd like. So you can just leave it at that and you could post it there if you'd like. You could also X that and you say, I want the link there, but I want to add the picture that goes with that Meet a Member Monday. So I'm going to put the picture there. So you have the text, you have the link, and then you have the picture that you want to post. Okay. You can click next. And then you would post the picture. You can also go back here, publish original post. You can also go back here and you'll see this icon at the bottom, left, towards the left-hand side, there is a person, a profile, a blue little person. You can click that and you can tag people here too. Just like we tag on Instagram, you can tag, and you'll see all of these. Let's see, you want to tag Sierra Club in it. You want us to tag, whoever. You can tag those people in the post. Okay. So again, I'm not posting them, and I just want to show you all how to do that. Discard post. Okay. And then you will see if you go to your profile, and to go to your profile, you'll see this is back from the Brink's profile, and you will see here what has been posted. This is a good example. So I'm going to shout out Maya here every month. Back from the Brink has a wonderful newsletter comes out called The Beacon. This one was posted today. So you'll see that I wrote a caption here. I put a link there. This is a picture that Maya created, and Maya puts all this wonderful information together in the newsletter. So again, this is on the profile page. This is the latest post on our profile, and you can click that and you can go directly to the Beacon. So if you wanted to share that with your friends and family, you could do that as well. Now, let's say you wanted to simply share that post without writing and creating your own post. That's one great thing about Facebook. Again, one of the lower level ways of engaging is you can simply click share. Let's see, I'll go up here so people can see. Under Boost Post, you'll see an arrow that says share. If you click that, you have options of sharing. You can share it to your feed. You can simply click feed. You can say something about it if you'd like. You can say, read this newsletter. And then you would share it to your page. So that means that, again, if I go now to Back from the Brink, you'll see that I just posted this, read this newsletter, and it's the same post from my original post shared now on your profile page. So that's one of the ways that, again, if you don't want to post and create your own post and create your own content, but you want to share what you're seeing, that's a great way to do that. If you would like to, and I'll go back to the share arrow again. You can also copy that link. You could send it in a text message. You could send it, let's say you could comment somewhere. I will go, let's say, variety, sorry. Go back here, I'll go back to our comments and just say, I could say, read this. And I could post this here, paste. Okay, so now that link to that post is there. So lots of options there. Let's see. Of course, if you don't want to share, you just want to engage by simply liking, you could do that too. The like button, I'll scroll so you can see under where it says see insights and ads, you'll see a like, thumbs up, like that. You can also, if you hover over it, you'll see options to like it, to love it. These are all just different ways to express yourself, but they all help with engagement. If you're angered by it, you can choose one that you can simply like as well. And again, just like Instagram, the more you help like and comment on all of these posts on Back from the Brinks, or you do it on your own, the more engagement and the more popularity those posts receive. How are we feeling there? That feel good? Any questions so far? I think we're good there. I hope that was slower.
I'm gonna jump in with I think I'm seeing less kind of concern about the speed, so
Okay, good.
that was better on that front. I have I'm seeing a question from Terry Fitzgerald. What happens if I tap boost post? I'm not sure if that option appears for people unless they have done ads previously. Is that correct?
I'm sorry, what happens if you do what post?
If I tap boost post.
Oh, yes. Okay, so boosting a post is something mostly organizations do, or if you're using social media for your business, but basically boosting a post means you're going to pay to create that post now as an advertisement. So that's something that I wouldn't worry about for anyone using it here, because you're going to use it for your own personal reasons. But that's something that maybe Back from the Brink would do if we want to boost a post so that more and pay for more people to see a post about HRES 317 or something that's happening. So, but for this purpose, I would say just disregard that. So don't click boost post, because then they're going to ask you to pay Meta to boost your post, and you don't want to do that.
We'll take one more just because I know we have to go to Blue Sky next. From Christine Carver, with some groups, I get emails that I would like to share on Facebook. How would I do this?
You get emails that you like to share on Facebook. So does the email have a link in it? Because if the email has a link, let's say to an event, then you could copy that link from the email and then go to, again, here where it says what's on your mind, and say, great event happening tomorrow, join us. And then you would put the link there. If that email also has a picture of the event, or like the event flyer, let's say, and you want to add that, you would go to the green icon on the left. It looks like a picture, click that. And again, you would, let's say this is the flyer, click next, and then you can post that where it says next, post it, publish original post, and then click post. I hope that answers your question. But that's how I would do that. Discard that post. Okay.
So essentially, like if there is a link in that email, and if you want to share it on your Facebook account, just share that link, and then and then implement the ideas as to how to post the way that Ryan mentioned. So I hope that answers that question.
And I just want to say quickly, someone is asking, how do you get the picture from your phone onto the platform? I'll just show that one more time. Again, what's on your mind, you'd click that, and then where it says photo video, you would click photo video and choose the picture. 1, 2, 3, 4, or you could simply click 1, okay? So if you want to do this one, let's say, and then the picture would appear, and then eventually you would, post it. These are great questions, great feedback, and hopefully people are feeling more comfortable. Okay, let's move over to Blue Sky now. That is this. Hold on, let me go back to I'm showing our. Okay, so again, all these platforms have a feed. So I'm showing you the feed, which is, again, information, the posts from all of the different organizations, lawmakers, news sources that you're following on that platform. So now I'm looking at all of the information, which is great because, again, when you share or you post things, then you will see what others, when others log in, they will see what you have posted. So the more you post about this kind of stuff, your friends and family, whoever you're following, they will be able to see it too. Okay, so this is all of that stuff. All right. So that's to discover new things. This is the feed for those that you're following, as I mentioned, on Blue Sky. And I'll get to lists in a second. Let me say something first about Blue Sky. Blue Sky is also a multimedia platform. It has become an alternative platform to X. X was formerly Twitter, but the X owner, Elon Musk, has declined in popularity for many political reasons, which I'm sure everyone on this call knows. So a lot of people have migrated over to Blue Sky. Blue Sky does not require photos or text. Having them does increase the likelihood of visibility and engagement, but it also allows for a series of posts or a stream of consciousness around topics and the timeliness of topics. So for example, there's a lot of reporters will use Blue Sky or maybe even X when they were on that, or if they're on both platforms, to quickly get out information, just to say, this danger in this area, avoid area, this is happening, and you can kind of quickly get information out, and people can follow in real time, get messages and get information while people are there. That's one way that people use it in news. You can also just simply write text if you'd like. If you just say, I have an idea or I have thoughts, if you just want to simply write your thoughts, you could also do that too. You don't have to use text. I'm sorry, you don't have to use photos or videos for Blue Sky. So if you want to post here, you would go to the blue circle on the bottom right corner. You click that. And then again, just like the other platforms, you type away. So let's again write meet a member Monday, whatever your text is here. You can also add a link here, a link to a web article, a link to an event, and it will be clickable on Blue Sky, which is another great thing about Blue Sky. So you can write again, www. whatever it is. But big thing about Blue Sky, there, if you see at the bottom, you'll see a number, 276. You only get 300 characters. You see it's going up as I erase, and it's going down as I type. There's only 300 characters allowed on Blue Sky. So whatever your message is, including let's say if you want to add a happy face, which my kids would do, or something like that, all of those are part of your word count. That includes the web article. So if it's a long link, you may not be able to write a long caption with it, because you only have, again, 300 characters. So that's something to keep in mind. But meet a member Monday, let's say. Okay, and then you would click, you can add whatever you want there. And then at the bottom, you'll see a picture icon of a camera, different things. The one on the left is the picture. Click that. And again, you can add the picture there. And Blue Sky allows you to upload 4 pictures to a post. Okay, you would click add. There are all your pictures, and then you would post the picture. Okay. All right. you want to simply engage with the post that are already there on Back from the Brink, again, you could go to, let's see, so this is Back from the Brink's profile. This is the latest post. Again, it was about the newsletter, The Beacon, which you should all read monthly. If you go to this bubble in the middle, click that, you can comment. You can say, great newsletter. And you can add your comment there and then click reply. I'm going to push cancel, but of course you would click reply. If you want to simply like that that's out, you can go to the heart here and like it or love it, I guess. Now, similar to Facebook, if you want to repost something on your page that you found interesting that you want to share with your family or friends or people in your network, you would go to these two arrows. You would click that, and you can either simply repost it, again, with no comment. You just want to simply click post and it'll click repost and it'll go to your page so that others can see it. Or you can go to quote post. And again, like before, you can say, you know, read this, like I did on Facebook, and you would post it. And that the original post from Back from the Brink would be posted on your page along with your caption. Okay. So there's different levels of engagement. If you want to simply comment or click like on the things that are already there, that's fantastic. If you want to create your own content by, again, posting pictures and videos or writing things, that's great too. You can also use hashtags here. You can tag legislators, legislative officials, congressmen and women. You can do all of that here as well. Let's see. So another thing about Back from the Brink. Another thing about Blue Sky is you can go to different profiles and find lists. So I'm going to go, if you see this, I'm just moving over. There you see posts, replies, media. I'm moving it over, and the last item is lists. I'm going to click lists, and you'll see this list, Back from the Brink supporters and advocacy. This list helps you find community, that community building that Eric talked about at the beginning. So you can find others who are Back from the Brink supporters and advocates, and you can look at what they're posting, read what they're talking about. This is a lot. You'll see Eric's page here. You'll see Kristen here, but others who are active on Blue Sky. You'll see Danny here, other folks here. So we would love to add you. You can, we'll talk about that towards the end, but you can send us once you've created your Blue Sky handle or you have one already, send that to us and we will add you to this list. It's also a great way of meeting new people and following and creating community that way. And again, on Blue Sky, there are ways to find who we are following. If you want to find other folks, if you want to find other organizations, you can go to who we're following, or it says 456 following. You can click that and you can see, other folks that Blue Sky, that Back from the Brink is following, and just to get an idea of maybe other folks that you might want to engage with. Okay, I'm going to stop there because we're going to run out of time soon. Eric, any questions?
Yeah, so I'm gonna try and answer all the questions from the previous sections as well. I'm gonna start with Jackie's general question for all platforms. How do you know who to follow, how to search in order to maximize efficiency without spending enormous amounts of time on social media?
Okay. I'll say quickly for that is to look for the blue circle. So I'll go back to Instagram, for example. I'm going to do ABC News. So if you want to sorry, move that to the side. If you want to make sure that an account is you don't want to be misinformed. You want to make sure that you are following something that is credible. You'll see example ABC News at the top. Next to the name ABC News, you'll see a blue circle with a check mark. That is a verified account. So that means that account because anyone could sign up and say that they're ABC News, right? And start posting things on behalf as a copycat. So one way to do that is to make sure that the organization that you really want to follow, that you're interested in, that they have that verified circle there. Back from the Brink doesn't have it yet, but we are working on it. But that is one way to make sure that the account that you're following is a real account.
And something that I would just be mindful is that like Facebook and Instagram are a little bit tricky because of their algorithm. What I like about like Blue Sky specifically is that like the people who you follow are going to be the people who are on your timeline. So if you don't want to deal, if you are strictly want to follow people in the nuclear disarmament space or news outlets, you have the option to just have a timeline of just those people. So I think it's something to kind of take into account. Where again, we know with Instagram and Facebook, their algorithm is been criticized for understandable reasons. So it's again, it is a personal decision as to how you want to navigate those like specific platforms. So that's something that I just wanted to toss in there. I have a question from Barbara. Is use of Blue Sky only for the already converted? That is an argument against switching to it that I have heard. I would like a little bit more clarity as to the already converted. I'm not sure what that means. But so I'm gonna leave that there, Barbara. I don't know if you want to clarify in the Q&A. We can answer from it. We can answer it later. A question from Judith. How would you say that Blue Sky differs from Facebook? I kind of delved into a little bit. Ryan, do you want to talk about it a little bit more?
Yeah, to me, the big thing is, again, you like the that it doesn't need pictures or video, that you can, like, it can be very text friendly if you just want to send, or just web link friendly. You just want to simply get some information out, send something really quickly. You can also, it's a much smaller platform. So kind of the great thing about Blue Sky is that, there are people migrating from somewhere else, but it's so new. These other platforms have been, around longer, which is funny to say in the social media space. But the good thing about Blue Sky is that there's so many new things to try, more people to discover, because everyone is kind of figuring it out there versus these more kind of legacy social media platforms like Facebook and Instagram.
James, for all three platforms, is posting videos possible? Is it advised? Are there extra charges for a long video if it is permissible?
They are permissible. I would say the best one for that would be Facebook, but really the best for a long video would be something like YouTube, which Back to the Brink is also on. You can follow us there. That's where you want to post a longer video. But I would suggest for longer videos, Facebook probably would be the best one. But that being said, you could use any of the platforms. I think also, you kind of have to find your social media platform personality, which one resonates more with you. Some people gravitate toward Blue Sky. Some people like Instagram. It seems more user friendly. Maybe some people think Facebook is more user friendly. They have more friends there, more people in their network there. So, you can pick one and become proficient in that one, or just become more comfortable in that one. You don't have to do all of them. I would say just try to enter one of the spaces and get comfortable with it, and go from there.
Barbara's following up on the question, that is, am I only talking to people who already agree with my political stance in contrast to people who might be open to new information but don't already agree? If that's okay, like if I can answer it, there are maybe people who agree with you politically about some other issues. About say not cutting funding to Medicaid, for example. There may be issues in different subject matters that you may agree with, but when it comes to say the nuclear disarmament space, they may be not familiar with that subject matter, and you may be introducing them to this new issue that they may be aligned with, but they just have never thought to act on before. And that is kind of our again, the reasoning why we wanted to have this training, and why like we want to encourage people, again, if they feel comfortable, to share, to get on these platforms, to interact with us, to build community. And again, specifically, we're here regarding the nuclear disarmament, this issue. So that's what I would say to that. You know, we kind of do build echo chambers with people who we may be aligned with politically, but we also may be informing people about new issues that they might have not known about before. So that would be my answer to that question, Barbara. So
Yes, and let me just say, as I say, we have 2 more minutes left, so I know we have to wrap this up. But let me just say that people may not know about Back from the Brink. So they may know about the larger issue, but they may not know that there is a avenue in which in a movement to join, like you do, like you have, to get rid of these weapons. And so that's the great thing about this. That's why we are doing this, because we want people to know all of the efforts from all of the hub leaders and the hub members and all of the people across the country who are engaging with Back from the Brink. We want people to know more about the work that you're doing, to help you amplify that, to encourage more people to join the efforts, whether you do that on Blue Sky, whether you do that on Facebook, whether you do that on Instagram, so that we can increase the folks who are participating in this work, this very important work. I have 3 action items before everyone goes today. I want to make sure I get these in. Number 1, we're asking, this is an action challenge. Engage at least 5 times in the next week on one of the platforms. Either like 5 posts, create posts, something like that. Take part in the 80 Days of Action campaign. Again, post those pictures that I talked about before. Using that hashtag 80 Days of Action and tag Back from the Brink. We'll see it probably, and we'll amplify it on your posts. We'll amplify your posts. We would love to do that. And of course, promote HRES 317 and urge others to ask their representatives to sign on. That's a great way to do that. We have a lot of the tools, again, on our pages. You can use those graphics and things that you've seen to put on your page and tell people about HRES 317 and get people activated, because that is the purpose of all of this, to increase our efforts, to increase the number of people who are engaging. And we hope that we can be supportive in that process, because we are really thankful for all the work that everyone is doing in the community on behalf of Back from the Brink. Anything else? I think that's it, everyone. Oh, we've hit 4 o'clock. I want to be mindful of everyone's time. But again, thank you so much. I hope this is helpful. Again, it's being recorded, so you can go back to it. And we will follow up with more information. There will be more webinars in the future. Thank you, everyone. Happy Thursday.